SusanCanCreate. Again, this is the Hostess Tips number 2. These are these little short 5-minute videos that I'm doing, helping you with some hostess tips. Today I'm going to talk about preparing things in the dining room. I'm not talking about decorating. I'm talking about other things you have to think about. First of all, you need to think about the seating. Do you have enough seating in the dining room? How many people are coming? What type of seating do you need? So you need to think about how many tables you need, what kind of seating you have. And please think about the kind of seating like under the table. Don't try to jam everybody. Make sure people can get their legs under the table and where the table legs really are. You need to, take a look at your guest list. What's your goal for this dinner? Is it a sit-down dinner? Is it a formalized dinner? Is it a casual dinner? What are they? Do these people all know each other? Have they been to your dinners before? Are you celebrating anything in particular? Because, if it's the birthday person or if it's something special, where you sit that person makes a difference. Couples, is it singles? What is it? Is it, business people? Is it co-workers, workers? Is it like a book club where it's all, people from the book club? Who do you have coming here? So you know what kind of seating you're going to need. Are there any, sometimes people don't think about this as hostesses, but you need to think, are there any hearing issues? If you know, does anybody have, do they hear better out of this ear? Do they hear better out of this ear? You try to find these things out. Are there any people that are left-handed? Seating a person that is left-handed makes a difference. You know where you need to put them on a different spot. It makes it easier for them to deal with how they, to eat their meals. Any of them have mobility issues. Mobility issues are an issue. How heavy are your chairs? If somebody has mobility issues, sometimes it's difficult. If you've got those big old heavy dining room chairs, it's hard for them to move them out. Maybe you need to be there. When they're coming around to sit, you maybe want to move that chair out for them and help move it in for them. Not make a big deal out of it, just be there, to do that. How easy is it to get around your table? If you're in a tight space, sometimes, and if they have a cane or they don't, or if they're, whatever, or if they're a larger size person, you need to think about where you're going to put them. Where's that mobility for them? Because you want to make it, you don't want to embarrass them. You want to think about this so they don't have to think about this. Are there people that know each other? Are there people that don't like each other? That type of thing. The next thing you want to think about in your dining room is your lighting. What's your lighting going to be? Do you have indirect lighting? Do you have overhead lighting, chandelier lighting? Do you have candles? Are you going to be using candles? What are you going to be using for lighting? What's the temperature going to be? Is your dining room area, or maybe you're using another room as your dining room because maybe it's going to be a big party. So you're actually you move some furniture out and you're moving maybe a bigger room as your dining room or something. What's the temperature going to be like in there? Are there any drafts? Are there drafts around you might have an older house, and older houses a lot of times have drafts. Think about those type of things because that can make people very uncomfortable. If there's a draft blowing on their feet, on their legs, on their backs, and if there's hot spots in the room, if there's a heater or a floor heater type thing, event blowing on somebody. Some people might absolutely love that. Some people, that's not their thing. One thing I will suggest, especially if you're in an older home or whatever, if you have a draft in your home and you know that it's there, I always, I've done this before in houses that we've had. I've got lap throws, just nice little lap throws. I've got them in the dining room, and I offer them to people that I know are sitting where there's a draft or something, and I just offer them to people, and they really seem to appreciate that. Guest bathroom. Okay, this is something a lot of hostesses forget to think about. Guest bathroom. Where is your guest bathroom? How far away is it? Make sure they all know where it is. Make sure it is well stocked. People do not like to use guest hand towels, the cloth kind, when it's communal. If you got a guest towel hanging up there and all the guests are using that same towel, especially since COVID, no, nobody likes to use that. Get those, you know, you can get the ones, they're like oblong, that come in all different sizes. They're little holders, and you can get those in all different sizes and shapes. And you can get the paper, they almost feel like cloth, but they're disposable hand towels. You can get those, put those in there, put them on your sink, put them on your, you know, whatever cabinet you have in there. If you don't have room around your sink, you certainly have it at the back of the toilet. Put it there. Your guests will appreciate that. Nobody likes to use a a wet communal towel. Trust me, they don't like that. Just purchase those. Make sure your soap has a hand pump. You know, you can get the soap out of there. And I got to tell you, this is something that nobody, a lot of times does not think about, but it will save your party sometimes. Make sure you have a clean, in good shape plunger in your guest bath. Where, you know, people don't make it conspicuous, but where somebody can find it. It will save your party at times. Your guests will thank you. Trust me. There's nothing more embarrassing to a guest, and we all know it can happen to anybody. Don't sit there and pretend. Oh my God, it's not me. It has happened to every person on this earth. And if you're in somebody's house and it happens to you, and there's no plunger in there, yeah, make sure there's a plunger there for them. And then also make sure there's air freshener in there also. And so that's it for this one. Stay tuned for Hostess Tips number 3, which is the guest list planning. Thank you all and have a great evening.